Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We'll cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got an interesting show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. So, was having a little bit of a difficult day looking for some topics, and then Mitch sends over a topic. He's like, "Bro, did you hear about what's going on with the WNBA? Right? It seems to be a big thing." And I had heard a little bit about it. I think I even saw a video of Shaq talking about one WNBA player making like $78,000 a year, and is like, should be making $10 million a year. And then there's kind of been this conversation around the WNBA for a long time about them feeling like, you know, they're not compensated fairly, and they're looking at NBA players and all of that. You had the time when Draymond Green called out Lisa Leslie on the Shop about this. So you have that, right? So he's like, you should check out this story. A lot of people are talking about it. So I then began to look around because I needed a quick summation of it. I couldn't like hunt it down bit by bit. Then I tuned into a segment on The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin. And it turns out they discussed this very thing less than 24 hours ago. So I clicked on their video to hear what they had to say. And we want to break this show down in a few segments. So the first part of the video, they're actually unpacking the issue and they're explaining it, right? And I thought that Kelvin did a very good job unpacking it and explaining it out before Rob Parker actually then started to give his viewpoint. So what we want to do is want to play exactly what Kelvin had to say first, and he just kind of lays out everything for everybody to kind of understand it. So for those of you who are maybe watching the show that don't really know the details or haven't been following the story as closely as maybe others are, I want you guys to listen to this part here so you get the full scope of it, and I'm going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to what Kelvin had to say here.
Before the All-Star game, all right? 2 days before that, 40 players met with the league offices in their latest round of their CBA negotiations, all right? Now, according to multiple reports, the players did not think that the meeting was very productive. They didn't think that it was helpful. They were very upset about what happened during that meeting. So, ahead of the All-Star game, which is for a lot of them the biggest night of the year, players on both sides, including Caitlin Clark, wore black shirts during warm-ups that read, "Pay us what you owe us."
Originally, I thought it said "welfare queens" on it, but I didn't have my glasses. My glasses.
All right, so this is where it got interesting, right? You saw the shirts.
You know the WNBA.
Yeah, I thought what is it, welfare?
Yeah.
So ignorant.
They only lost money for 30 years. What do you want?
I know. But so this is where the conversation
and you get government cheese and a ball. Go ahead.
Stop it. Government cheese was good for grilled cheese. That's it.
Go ahead.
That's the only time it was good. No, this is where it gets complicated, right? Because the WNBA hasn't made a profit in a general sense of making profits for all these years, and it's averaging since it started around $10 million deficit each year. That's what it's operating on. But when you start to dive deeper into it, more so than just the simple math, is where it gets complicated. I think the average person, especially on X, Instagram, Threads, any site, isn't doing the deep dive. So WNBA players are simply saying this, Rob. We are saying most leagues in the NBA, NHL, NBA, NFL, they're making around 50% of the revenue that comes in. 50%. The WNBA is only making, how much you think? 30? No. 20? No. 10? No. 9%. So they're saying, hey, we're only making 9%. Our counterparts are making 50% of the revenue driven. And then somebody would say, well, what revenue and what's going on? Well, certain good things have happened and favorable for the league, which would be in turn favorable for the players who are essentially the product. The league has secured a new lucrative $2.2 billion media rights deal to begin in 2026 next year, which is expected to significantly increase revenue. So if you don't stand on it now, Rob, you know this from business standpoint, how am I going to get it? If I just go with the flow, all right, give me 9% a year, then I'm not going to get any of that $2.2 billion. But if I say, hey, we got to negotiate and go up to, 10, 15, 20, 25, whatever, however high they can take it, that's to me that's just simple good business math. Also, the attendance is up 26%. You and I have talked about that. 23% viewership is up. And also merchandise, which is huge because you get percentage of those sales, is up 40%, nearly half, nearly 50%. So simply what they're doing is saying, hey, if there is money to be made, which clearly there are, not to mention $250 million they're getting for the new the new WNBA teams, the new franchise fees.
Fantastic. So you heard what Kelvin had to say there. So after he said that, I then got a good understanding of it. And then Rob Parker decided to now jump in and give his 2 cents. And if you know anything about Rob Parker over the last year now, he's been letting it fly, man. He don't hold back no more anymore. And it seems like this particular segment was just another example of Rob Parker laying loose. But before we even get into what Rob had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time. One of the things I love the most is making unforgettable memories with family and friends. And one of the things I hate the most is overpaying for tickets only to find out that there was a better deal out there. That's one of the reasons I started using Game Time. Game Time is the easy go-to app for last-minute tickets to sports, concert, and theater events across 60+ states in the US and Canada. Game Time saves me time, money, and stress by curating only the best deals, so I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time scrolling through overpriced tickets. Game Time Picks is my favorite tool. It highlights the best value seats instantly. No more guesswork, no more wasting time. For example, I'm really looking forward to watching some of these NBA Summer League games. Here's what I like to do. I choose between the cheapest deal, the great deal, or the amazing deal. Once you select the ticket you want, you can use their panoramic seat view to ensure you know exactly what you're getting before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and use redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now is want to play exactly what Rob Parker had to say. Apart from the fact that it was very entertaining, I think he also brought up some pretty solid points. Take a listen to what Rob had to say here.
I totally disagree. And I dare the WNBA players. I dare you. Walk out. I dare you to walk out. Go ahead and walk out. I double dare you. Because despite Caitlin Clark, despite all this stuff, they still lost $40 million this past year. There was no bonanza. She's at her height. If you're losing money at her height, how in the world going forward? It ain't going up automatically. You just had the biggest bump and you still lost $40 million. I dare the union to walk out. I dare you players. Because it ain't going to be pretty. You can't collect money for 30 years. This ain't some new league that started and you understand it's going to take a little while to make money. They were subsidized by the NBA. I know firsthand in Detroit. They didn't want the shock. The commissioner, they begged them, please. I know personally that when they were winning those championships, they couldn't sell tickets. They could not sell tickets. They had a full building because they were giving them away. And all I'm saying is you got to crawl before you walk. And I understand wanting more. But are you accounting for the 30 years of red ink that under normal circumstances you would not have had a league? These football leagues that keep starting up, USF, ULFL, all these things. Everybody all I'm ever told is everybody loves football, right? Why don't those leagues last? You know how many of those leagues are folded?
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't sell tickets. The TV numbers aren't good enough. And you can say whatever you want. Caitlin Clark, when she's not playing, the ratings went down 55%. Those are facts, not feelings. When she wasn't going to announce that she wasn't going to play the WNBA, the tickets dropped off the face of the earth. I'm not saying you're not entitled to money, but it's based off of what you bring in. Devin Booker's going to make $75 million a year, not because they like him, not because he's a man. That's the revenue that is brought in, right? And over time, that can happen. But come on, man, this is way too premature. And if I'm running the WNBA or I'm the NBA that owns the WNBA, I'm not going for the okie doke because Caitlin Clark showed up. And now there's still plenty of buildings where 6,000 people show up. Kelvin, am I lying?
No, that's facts.
But, okay. And that's my point.
I hear you. Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted.
There's no guarantee.
I double dare them to walk out.
So you heard what Rob Parker had to say. What are my thoughts about this? First of all, prior to listening to this sound, I was unaware of the fact that they lost $40 million last year. $40 million. I had seen a clip of Shannon Sharpe and Chad Johnson talking about it, but I didn't understand what they were talking. I just heard them say 40 million, 40 million, 40 million. I'm like, what? So I was confused about that. And then Rob explained it like these guys lost $40 million in revenue, $40 million, and people are complaining about salaries and not earning enough money. Now, let me give you guys my take on all of this. Is this the first time athletes have made a statement about things that they're concerned with? No, right? People make political statements, et cetera, et cetera. You saw the NBA do that in 2020, right? You saw all of that. In this case here, this is just another example of it. Like, we want to get paid our fair share. But we have a problem. According to what Kelvin said, they get 9% of revenue. Well, you can kind of understand that. When you're running at a loss, it's going to be hard for me to see you as an equal. Sorry to say. You don't have as much leverage. So comparing yourself to the NBA doesn't work. Because the NBA and its players generate so much money that they have a real argument to go and say, no, we need to split this pie here. Like, we need to split it. That's understandable because they drive a lot of the revenue. In the case of the players, they don't do that. Right? So if we're the ones taking the losses, running the operations and all of that, I'm not going to take all of these losses and at the end still split the money with you. Absolutely not. You guys go out there and make some more money and then we can rethink this thing. I think that is a reasonable position to take. That's the first. And the second thing, they shouldn't be comparing themselves to the NBA players. They should not be. The third thing is, I didn't even know that they lost $40 million even with all of the Caitlin Clark craze that went on. That's crazy because prior to last year, I never paid any attention to the WNBA. Last year was probably the most discussed year of the NBA, of the WNBA since its existence. And you're telling me with all of that fanfare, all of that conversation, they still took a $40 million loss. Now, obviously, I think they're slated to earn or gather a new $2 billion deal. Okay. You make money into the future. There's no what you're being owed. No. Now, in terms of the 9%, well, I mean, we can negotiate it, but you ain't getting no 50%. And the fact that they brought up the point that the NBA had lost money for 40 years, it really shows you that when you're building these leagues, it takes time to become popular. I never even knew that. For the NBA to go from losing money every single year to now where it just signed a $75 billion TV deal over the next 11 years, that's pretty incredible. But they built it up to that level, right? They built it up to that level. And has the WNBA done that? No. At least the numbers don't say so. The popularity is not there. He talked about the fact that ticket sales fell off the face of the earth when Caitlin Clark announced that she wasn't playing. Bro, these are real things, right? These are real things. So this is my take on it. What I want to know from the audience is, what do you guys think about it? Whose side are you on? Whatever you guys think. Please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.